Welcome, Genesis International College students. Let's just jump right into this explainer, shall we? Today, we're zeroing in on the final and, frankly, absolutely crucial phase of your CPCP3030 unit, applying protective paint coating systems. We're looking at topic 4, which is all about closing down the site and cleaning up. Now look, anyone can slop a coat of paint on a wall, but how you pack up, how you clean up, and how you leave a site, that's what actually defines a professional. So this explainer is designed specifically for you, to be your personal guide to mastering this entire process.
Think of this as your ultimate end-of-shift walkthrough. We're covering 5 things: the rules of cleanup, key cleanup principles, caring for tools, safe waste disposal, and finally, your assessment checkpoint. Let's get to it.
Okay, Section 1, the rules of cleanup, following legislation. So, dealing with protective coatings, it is definitely not like washing standard house paint down the kitchen sink. You're working with hazardous materials, and that means there is strict legislation dictating exactly how you handle and dispose of your waste. Your absolute best friend on the job site here is the Safety Data Sheet, or the SDS, right alongside the actual physical product label. If you ever have even a shadow of a doubt about how to clean up a specific chemical, the SDS is your ultimate source of truth. It literally spells out how to clean your equipment, manage accidental spills, and safely dispose of any leftover coatings and their containers. As a tradesperson, guessing is just never an option. You've got to follow these guidelines to the letter.
Now, you'll find that your SDSs and product labels will actually often defer to local laws. Why is that? Well, because waste management laws can shift completely depending on your specific municipality or state. So ultimately, the buck stops with you. It is your responsibility to know those local environmental guidelines and follow them. Pleading ignorance of local laws, yeah, that's never going to fly when it comes to hazardous waste.
Moving right along to Section 2, Key Cleanup Principles, the core mandates.
Before you even think about packing up your gear, you really need to get into the right mindset. There are 4 major mandates every painter has to keep in mind at the end of his shift. First up, always follow the specific site's environmental management plan. Every commercial site has one, and you've got to know it. Second, the cleanup process should never, ever put you or anyone else on site at risk of injury. Safety doesn't just clock out when the painting is done. Third, always keep the principles of reduce, reuse, and recycle in your back pocket. And fourth, and honestly, this is a massive one, avoid contaminating stormwater. Getting heavy-duty protective coatings into the local water supply is nobody's idea of a fun time, and the fines, they are staggering. So keep those wash-up stations completely isolated from stormwater drains.
Next up, Section 3, caring for tools, end-of-shift walkthrough. Look, how you treat your tools today completely dictates how they're going to perform tomorrow. Treat tool care as a non-negotiable routine. Step 1, check your tools and plant equipment for any damage before putting them away. Finding a busted sprayer today is way better than finding it tomorrow morning when you're on the clock, right? Step 2, clean everything correctly and thoroughly, based on those manufacturer specs we just talked about. Step 3, return your tools to their designated storage areas. And step 4, make sure all your materials and equipment are stored securely, exactly to workplace specifications. I really cannot stress this enough. This chronological process directly impacts the quality of your future work. A poorly cleaned brush or a clogged nozzle can just absolutely ruin a high-end protective coating finish.
Now, theory is all well and good, but practical application, that's where it really clicks. During your on-site chalk and talk sessions, your Genesis trainer is going to physically demonstrate these exact cleanup steps for you. So when you're doing your chalk and talk, pay really close attention to how your trainer manages solvents and water runoff.
All right, Section 4, safe waste disposal. By the book. Let's get into the highly scrutinized topic of what actually happens to your leftover paint and empty containers. This is for sure a common area where novices trip up. You have to know the difference in disposal methods. For example, if you've got small amounts of water-based paint, the right move is to harden it first. Only then can it go into a general waste bin. Contrast that with your dry, empty paint cans. You can't just toss those anywhere. You actually need to remove the lids and put the dry cans specifically in a scrap metal bin for recycling. Understanding these distinct pathways is exactly how you stay compliant and environmentally responsible.
And keep in mind, the rules change entirely depending on whether the coating is water-based, solvent-based, a 2-pack epoxy, or polyurethane. For a much deeper dive into these strategies, you need to cross-reference your training. Make sure you're regularly reviewing Module PDSCU, which covers site cleanup, and Module PDE&V, covering environmental issues. Those modules are your detailed roadmaps for anything that isn't explicitly covered on the product label.
Finally, that brings us to Section 5, your assessment checkpoint. Are you ready? This is where we bring all these concepts together. I really want you to ask yourself this directly. Do you feel confident enough in these procedures to complete a job safely without any supervision? Like, can you walk onto a site, apply a specialized protective coating, and then completely shut down the work area, leaving absolutely no hazardous trace behind?
You're going to see this assessment checkpoint in your study materials. Make sure you use it exactly as it's intended, as a self-reflection tool. Before you ever crack open your student workbook to do the formal assessment for this unit, you need to honestly evaluate your own readiness using this checklist.
Let's look at the ultimate checklist here. Ask yourself, can you safely follow specific site procedures? Can you identify hazardous materials and take the right action? Can you demonstrate the exact correct processes for getting rid of paint waste, wash water, and harsh solvents? And crucially, are your materials and rags stored properly to avoid crazy things like spontaneous combustion? If you can confidently check all those boxes, you are ready. I'll leave you with this. Anyone can learn to roll paint onto a wall, but it's the meticulous discipline of the cleanup, the genuine respect for the environment, and the care for the tools that truly separates a passing student from a highly paid professional tradesperson. So which one are you going to choose to be? Good luck with your CPCCPD3030 assessment.